50 Most Popular Man-Made Wonders of the World. 1. The Eiffel Tower, Paris. The Eiffel Tower, nicknamed La Dame de Fer, the Iron Lady, is an 1889 iron lattice tower located on the Champ de Mars in Paris that has become both a global icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. The tallest building in Paris, it is the most visited paid monument in the world. Millions of people ascend it every year. Named for its designer, engineer Gustave Eiffel, the tower was built as the entrance arch to the 1889 World's Fair. 2. The Great Wall of China, China. The Great Wall of China is a series of stone and earthen fortifications in northern China, built originally to protect the northern borders of the Chinese Empire against intrusions by various nomadic groups. Several walls have been built since the 5th century BC that are referred to collectively as the Great Wall, which has been rebuilt and maintained from the 5th century BC through the 16th century. 3. Musée du Louvre, Paris. The Musée du Louvre, or officially Grand Louvre, in English the Louvre Museum or simply the Louvre, is one of the world's largest museums, the most visited art museum in the world and a historic monument. It is a central landmark of Paris and located on the right bank of the Seine in the 1st arrondissement, district. Nearly 35,000 objects from prehistory to the 19th century are exhibited over an area of 60,600 square meters, 652,300 square feet. 4. Times Square, New York. Times Square is a major commercial intersection in the borough of Manhattan in New York City, at the junction of Broadway and 7th Avenue and stretching from West 42nd to West 47th Streets. The extended Times Square area, also called the Theater District, consists of the blocks between 6th and 8th Avenues from east to west, and West 40th and West 53rd Streets from south to north, making up the western part of the commercial area of Midtown Manhattan. 5. The Statue of Liberty, New York. The Statue of Liberty, Liberty Enlightening the World, is a colossal neoclassical sculpture on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, designed by Frederick Bartholdi and dedicated on October 28, 1886. The statue, a gift to the United States from the people of France, is of a robed female figure representing Libertas, the Roman goddess of freedom, who bears a torch and a tabula ansata, a tablet evoking the law, upon which is inscribed the date of the American Declaration of Independence. 6. The Pyramids at Giza, Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also called the Pyramid of Khufu and the Pyramid of Cheops, is the oldest and largest of the 3 pyramids in the Giza necropolis bordering what is now El Giza, Egypt. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only one to remain largely intact. It is believed the pyramid was built as a tomb for 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Khufu, Cheops in Greek, and constructed over a 20-year period concluding around 2560 BC. 7. Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu, Old Mountain, pronounced is a pre-Columbian Inca site located 2,430 meters, 7,970 feet, above sea level. It is situated on a mountain ridge above the Urubamba Valley in Peru, which is 80 kilometers, 50 miles, northwest of Cusco and through which the Urubamba River flows. Most archaeologists believe that Machu Picchu was built as an estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, 1438 to 1472. 8. The Taj Mahal, India. The Taj Mahal is a mausoleum located in Agra, India. It is one of the most recognizable structures in the world. It was built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his 3rd wife, Mumtaz Mahal. It is widely considered as one of the most beautiful buildings in the world and stands as a symbol of eternal love. Taj Mahal is the finest example of Mughal architecture, a style that combines elements from Persian, Islamic and Indian architectural styles. You will not be alone. An estimated 7 to 8 million visitors each year make this India's top destination. 9. Stonehenge, England. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument located in the English county of Wiltshire, about 3.2 kilometers, 2.0 miles, west of Amesbury and 13 kilometers, 8.1 miles, north of Salisbury. One of the most famous sites in the world, Stonehenge is composed of earthworks surrounding a circular setting of large standing stones. It is at the centre of the most dense complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England, including several hundred burial mounds. 10. The London Eye, England. The London Eye is a giant Ferris wheel situated on the banks of the River Thames, in London, England. The entire structure is 135 metres, 443 feet, tall, and the wheel has a diameter of 120 metres, 394 feet. It is the tallest Ferris wheel in Europe, and the most popular paid tourist attraction in the United Kingdom, visited by over 3.5 million people annually. 11. Empire State Building, New York. The Empire State Building is a 102-story landmark Art Deco skyscraper in New York City at the intersection of 5th Avenue and West 34th Street. Its name is derived from the nickname for New York, the Empire State. It stood as the world's tallest building for more than 40 years, from its completion in 1931 until construction of the World Trade Center's North Tower was completed in 1972. 12. Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge is a suspension bridge spanning the Golden Gate, the opening of the San Francisco Bay into the Pacific Ocean. As part of both U.S. Route 101 and California State Route 1, it connects the city of San Francisco on the northern tip of the San Francisco Peninsula to Marin County. 13. Petra, Jordan. Petra is a historic and archaeological city in the Jordanian Governorate of Marin that is known for its rock-cut architecture and water conduit system. Established sometime around the 6th century BC as the capital city of the Nabateans, it is a symbol of Jordan as well as its most visited tourism attraction. It lies on the slope of Mount Hor in a basin among the mountains which form the eastern flank of Arabah, Wadi Araba, the large valley running from the Dead Sea to the Gulf of Aqaba. 14. Mount Rushmore, South Dakota. Mount Rushmore National Memorial is a sculpture carved into the granite face of Mount Rushmore near Keystone, South Dakota, in the United States. Sculpted by Gutzon Borglum and later by his son Lincon Borglum, Mount Rushmore features 60-foot, 18 sculptures of the heads of former United States presidents, in order from left to right: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. 15. The White House, United States of America, Washington, D.C. The White House is the official residence and principal workplace of the President of the United States. Located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C., the house was designed by Irish-born James Hoban, and built between 1792 and 1800 of white-painted aquia sandstone in the neoclassical style. It has been the residence of every U.S. president since John Adams. 16. The Colosseum, Italy. The Colosseum, or the Colosseum, originally the Flavian Amphitheatre, is an elliptical amphitheatre in the centre of the city of Rome, Italy, the largest ever built in the Roman Empire. It is considered one of the greatest works of Roman architecture and Roman engineering. 17. The Parthenon, Greece. The Parthenon is a temple in the Athenian Acropolis, Greece, dedicated to the Greek goddess Athena, whom the people of Athens considered their protector. Its construction began in 447 BCE and was completed in 438 BCE, although decorations of the Parthenon continued until 431 BCE. It is the most important surviving building of classical Greece, generally considered to be the culmination of the development of the Doric order. 18. Sydney Opera House, Australia. The Sydney Opera House is a multi-venue performing arts centre in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It was conceived and largely built by Danish architect J.R.N. Utzon, who, in 2003, received the Pritzker Prize, architecture's highest honour. The Pritzker Prize citation stated, "There is no doubt that the Sydney Opera House is his masterpiece." 19. Buckingham Palace, London. Buckingham Palace is the official London residence of the British monarch. Located in the city of Westminster, the palace is a setting for state occasions and royal hospitality. It has been a rallying point for the British people at times of national rejoicing and crisis. Originally known as Buckingham House, the building which forms the core of today's palace was a large townhouse built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1705 on a site which had been in private ownership for at least 150 years. 20. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Angkor Wat is a Hindu temple complex at Angkor, Cambodia, built for the King Suryavarman II in the early 12th century as his state temple and part of his capital city. As the best-preserved temple at the site, it is the only one to have remained a significant religious center since its foundation. First Hindu, dedicated to the god Vishnu, then Buddhist. The temple is at the top of the high classical style of Khmer architecture. 21. Trevi Fountain, Fontana di Trevi, Italy. In the maze of narrow, meandering streets, Rome hides a sparkling jewel held to be a triumphant example of Baroque finesse and the natural artistry of water, one of the world's most stunning fountains and a work of art in one. Trevi is not just a cold piece of marble. The play of light, shade and wind makes it move in a mesmerizing rhythm that the hypnotized public yields to subconsciously, and even if a tight agenda draws them away for a while, they go to all lengths to see the astounding spring once again. 22. The Moai of Easter Island, Chile. Moai, or Moai, are monolithic human figures carved from rock on the Polynesian island of Easter Island, Chile between the years 1250 and 1500. Nearly half are still at Reino Raraku, the main Moai quarry, but hundreds were transported from there and set on stone platforms called ahu around the island's perimeter. Almost all Moai have overly large heads 3/5 the size of their bodies. The Moai are chiefly the living faces, Arina Ora, of deified ancestors, Arina Ora Atatepuna. 23. Disneyland Paris, France. Disneyland Paris, originally Euro Disney Resort, is an entertainment resort in Mont-la-Vallée, a new town located 32 kilometers east of the center of Paris, and is the most visited theme park in all of Europe. 24. Alcatraz, California, San Francisco. Alcatraz Island is an island located in the San Francisco Bay, 1.5 miles, 2.4 kilometers, offshore from San Francisco, California. Often referred to as the Rock, the small island early on served as a lighthouse, a military fortification, a military prison, and a Federal Bureau of Prisons federal prison until 1963. Later, in 1972, Alcatraz became a national recreation area and received landmarking designations in 1976 and 1986. 25. The London Eye, London. The London Eye, known for sponsorship reasons as the Coca-Cola London Eye, is a giant Ferris wheel on the south bank of the River Thames in London. The structure is 443 feet tall and the wheel has a diameter of 394 feet. 26. The Palace of Versailles, France. The Palace of Versailles was the de facto capital of the Kingdom of France for over a century, from 1682 to 1789. On UNESCO's World Heritage List, it is one of the most magnificent achievements of 18th-century French art. It is a palace large enough to house 6,000 courtiers, a palace fit for a king, and not just any king, but Louis XIV, the Sun King, who reigned for 72 years and whose self-glorification knew no bounds. 27. The Zen Rock Garden of Ryoanji, Japan. Ryoanji is a Zen temple located in northwest Kyoto, Japan. It belongs to the Meishinji school of the Rinzai branch of Zen Buddhism. The temple garden is considered to be one of the finest examples of a keisanshu, a Japanese rock garden, or Zen garden, in Japan. The temple and gardens are listed as historic monuments of ancient Kyoto, and as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 28. Leaning Tower of Pisa, La Torre di Pisa, Italy. It's not an optical illusion, nor have the architects imagined it so crooked. No sooner had the tower reached the third story than the construction started sinking into the ground due to a poorly laid foundation, and the leaning first became obvious. Today it keeps sinking at the regular rate of about 1 millimeter a year, and even the weightiest of minds are not able to say with certainty what the future will bring for this Italian curiosity, and an undisputable masterpiece of architecture. 29. Tower of London, England. Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, more commonly known as the Tower of London, is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames in central London, England. It lies within the London Borough of Tower Hamlets, separated from the eastern edge of the City of London by the open space known as Tower Hill. It was founded towards the end of 1066 as part of the Norman conquest of England. 30. St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican City. The Papal Basilica of St. Peter, officially known in Italian as the Basilica Papale di San Pietro in Vaticano and commonly known as St. Peter's Basilica, is a late Renaissance church located within the Vatican City. St. Peter's Basilica has the largest interior of any Christian church in the world, holding 60,000 people. It is regarded as one of the holiest Catholic sites. 31. The Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy. The Uffizi Gallery is one of the oldest and most famous art museums of the Western world. It is housed in the Palazzo degli Uffizi, a palazzo in Florence, Italy. 32. Ellis Island, New York. Ellis Island in New York Harbor was the gateway for millions of immigrants to the United States as the site of the nation's busiest immigrant inspection station from 1892 to 1954. Prior to that, the much smaller original island was the site of Fort Gibson and later a naval magazine. The island was greatly expanded with landfill between 1892 and 1934. 33. Christ the Redeemer, Brazil. Christ the Redeemer is a statue of Jesus Christ in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, considered the largest Art Deco statue in the world and the fifth largest statue of Jesus in the world. 34. The Lincon Memorial, United States of America, Washington, D.C. The Lincon Memorial is an American memorial built to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. It is located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. and was dedicated on May 30, 1922. The architect was Henry Bacon, the sculptor of the main statue was Daniel Chester French, and the painter of the interior murals was Jules Guérin. It is one of several monuments built to honor an American president. 35. Fallingwater, Pennsylvania. Fallingwater or Kaufman Residence is a house designed by American architect Frank Lloyd Wright in 1935 in rural, southwestern Pennsylvania, 50 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. The home was built partly over a waterfall on Bear Run in the Mill Run section of Stewart Township, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, in the Laurel Highlands of the Allegheny Mountains. 36. Dole Plantation, Mays, Hawaii. In 2008, Dole Plantation's giant pineapple garden maze was declared the world's largest maze. The maze stretches over 3 acres and includes nearly 2.5 miles of paths crafted from 14,000 colorful Hawaiian plants. Walk through the flora of the islands as you seek out 8 secret stations that each lead you closer to the mystery at the heart of this larger-than-life labyrinth, one of only a handful of permanent botanical mazes in America. 37. The Anne Frank House, Netherlands. The Anne Frank House on Prinsengracht Canal in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, is a museum dedicated to Jewish wartime diarist Anne Frank, who hid from Nazi persecution with her family and 4 other people in hidden rooms at the rear of the building. As well as the preservation of the hiding place, known in Dutch as the Achterhuis, and an exhibition on the life and times of Anne Frank, the museum acts as an exhibition space to highlight all forms of persecution and discrimination. 38. The Brooklyn Bridge, New York. The Brooklyn Bridge is one of the oldest suspension bridges in the United States. Completed in 1883, it connects the New York City boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn by spanning the East River. With a main span of 1,595.5 feet, 486.3 meters, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world from its opening until 1903, and the first steel wire suspension bridge. 39. The Hollywood Sign, California. The Hollywood Sign is a famous landmark in the Hollywood Hills area of Mount Lee, Santa Monica Mountains, in Los Angeles, California. The iconic sign spells out the name of the area in convert a Loffe of dB Smid and convert a Loffe of dB Smid white letters. It was created as an advertisement in 1923, but garnered increasing recognition after the sign was left up. 40. Arc de Triomphe, France. The Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile, is one of the most famous monuments in Paris. It stands in the center of the Place Charles de Gaulle, originally named Place de l'Étoile, at the western end of the Champs-Élysées. There is a smaller arch, the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel, which stands west of the Louvre. 41. Tikal, Guatemala. The Tikal National Park is one of the most extensive Maya archaeological sites in the world. It has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979. There are several structures in the area, and many are still being unearthed. Some of the best known are the 6 buildings known as Temples I to 6. Other structures in the area include Temple 33, a funerary temple, and Structure 34. This is a pyramid with a 3-chambered shrine. 42. Notre Dame Cathedral, France. Notre Dame de Paris, also known as Notre Dame Cathedral or simply Notre Dame, is a Gothic, Roman Catholic cathedral on the eastern half of the Isle de la site in the 4th arrondissement of Paris, France. It is the cathedral of the Catholic Archdiocese of Paris, that is, it is the church that contains the cathedra, official chair, of the Archbishop of Paris, currently André Vingt-Trois. The cathedral treasury houses a reliquary with the purported crown of thorns. 43. Acropolis of Athens, Greece. The Acropolis of Athens or Citadel of Athens is the best-known acropolis, Acros, Akron, edge, extremity plus polis, city, PL Acropolis, in the world. Although there are many other acropolis in Greece, the significance of the Acropolis of Athens is such that it is commonly known as the Acropolis without qualification. The Acropolis was formally proclaimed as the preeminent monument on the European Cultural Heritage List of Monuments on the 26th of March 2007. 44. Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria, Germany. Neuschwanstein Castle was built upon the wishes of Ludwig II of Bavaria. It was meant to be a retreat for the king. It was also designed to pay homage to the works of Richard Wagner. 45. Hoover Dam, Nevada. Hoover Dam, once known as Boulder Dam, is a concrete arch gravity dam in the Black Canyon of the Colorado River, on the border between the U.S. states of Arizona and Nevada. It was constructed between 1931 and 1936, and was dedicated on September 30, 1935, by President Franklin Roosevelt. Its construction was the result of a massive effort involving thousands of workers, and cost over 100 lives. 46. The ruined city of Palenque, Mexico. Vast, mysterious and enchanting, the ruined city of Palenque is considered to be the most beautifully conceived of the Mayan city-states, and one of the loveliest archaeological sites in the world. 47. La Sagrada Familia, Spain. The Temple Expiatory de la Sagrada Familia, often simply called the Sagrada Familia, is a massive, privately funded Roman Catholic church that has been under construction in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain since 1882 and is not expected to be complete until at least 2026. A portion of the building's interior is scheduled to open for public worship and tours by September 2010. 48. Vietnam Veterans Memorial, United States of America, Washington, D.C. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial is a national memorial in Washington, D.C. It honors U.S. service members of the U.S. Armed Forces who fought in the Vietnam War, service members who died in service in Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and those service members who were unaccounted for, missing in action, during the war. Its construction and related issues have been the source of controversies, some of which have resulted in additions to the memorial complex. 49. Disneyland Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo Disneyland with its 7 themed lands offers fun attractions and fantastic entertainment, with restaurants and shops galore. 50. The Fountains at Bellagio, Nevada. Bellagio is a luxury, AAA 5-diamond award-winning hotel and casino located on the Las Vegas Strip in the Paradise area of unincorporated Clark County, Nevada, USA, and a member of the leading hotels of the world. It is owned by MGM Resorts International and was built on the site of the demolished Dunes Hotel and Casino. The resort serves as the seat of the corporate headquarters for MGM Resorts International and is considered the main flagship resort of the